INFJs are often described as the rarest personality type, but what makes them truly stand out, and sometimes feared, is not their rarity, but the subtle combination of depth, insight, and strategy that lies beneath their calm and often gentle exterior. They are paradoxes in human form, empathetic yet calculating, nurturing yet capable of cold detachment, idealistic yet ruthlessly pragmatic when pushed to the edge. This duality creates a quiet danger that can easily be underestimated by those who only see their soft-spoken warmth on the surface. The most striking trait that makes INFJs potentially dangerous is their extraordinary ability to read people. Their intuition cuts beneath appearances. You can't fool an INFJ. They can sense motives, vulnerabilities, and desires with uncanny precision. While many use this gift to heal and guide others, an INFJ who feels betrayed, cornered, or morally justified in taking action can wield that knowledge like a weapon. They don't strike blindly. They observe, calculate, and when the time comes, they move with surgical precision. Unlike more impulsive types who lash out in anger, INFJs wait. They let the game unfold, watching quietly until their adversary has no idea how thoroughly they've been outmaneuvered. If you're an INFJ, ensure to check out our INFJ Playbook kit. The link is in the description of this video. Another thing that makes them dangerous is their capacity for silence and secrecy. INFJs rarely reveal the full extent of what they think or feel. They keep mental files on people, storing insights and patterns over time. To outsiders, they may seem withdrawn or mysterious, but in truth, they are mapping everything. This makes them unpredictable. You never really know if they are planning forgiveness or plotting a slow, calculated exit, or even revenge. When they do strike, it is rarely loud or dramatic. Instead, it is subtle, often leaving the other person confused as to how they lost ground so completely. They can be very intense in their convictions. Once an INFJ decides something aligns or conflicts with their core values, there is no turning back. They can appear accommodating for a long time, but when that hidden threshold is crossed, their idealism becomes iron. Injustice, betrayal, or manipulation awakens a side of them that is both relentless and uncompromising. They do not simply fight back. They dismantle systems, relationships, or opponents with a determination that shocks those who once assumed their kindness meant weakness. At the same time, their charisma can amplify this hidden power. INFJs have a way of influencing others not through force, but through persuasion, subtle suggestion, and emotional resonance. They can rally people quietly, often without others realizing how much of the direction came from them. This ability to inspire trust while keeping their deeper strategies hidden means they can operate both as the healer and the architect of change, roles that can easily tip into manipulation when their darker side takes hold. In relationships and social circles, this mix of empathy, secrecy, and conviction makes INFJs a force to be reckoned with. They can be the most loyal ally you will ever have, or the most formidable opponent. If you lose their trust, you don't just lose a friend, you lose someone who already knows how to reach the most fragile parts of you. And unlike other types who explode in the moment, INFJs often punish with absence, silence, or quiet dismantling of the very bonds and structures their presence once upheld. INFJs are the chess players of the MBTI world, hiding their endgame until it is too late to resist. Their danger is quiet, patient, and deeply psychological. And perhaps what makes them most dangerous is that they rarely see themselves this way. To them, their actions are simply justified responses to protect themselves or their values. It is precisely this blend of empathy and ruthlessness, this ability to wound in the name of love, justice, or truth, that makes INFJs the type many admire, but few truly understand. The danger of an INFJ does not come wrapped in loud threats or obvious displays of power. It comes in silence, in the pauses where they are observing while others are talking, in the way their eyes linger just a moment too long, as if they have already seen through the mask you thought was impenetrable. They have a gift for slipping beneath the surface of people, pulling apart motives and hidden fears, and once they have mapped the depths of someone's soul, they hold that knowledge like a blade they may never need to draw, until the moment calls for it. To most, they appear warm, trustworthy, the kind of person you would confide in when the world feels too heavy. But it is this very trust that makes them dangerous, for the INFJ listens deeply, remembers everything, and stores it away. They are patient strategists cloaked in empathy, and the danger lies in how easily they can weaponize what they know without ever raising their voice. Where others lash out recklessly, the INFJ retreats into thought, calculating, imagining not only their next move, but the rippling consequences that will echo long after. They are rarely impulsive, and that is precisely why their strikes land with such devastating precision. Another thing that makes them dangerous is their ability to disappear emotionally before they physically walk away. They can love you with a depth that feels eternal, and then, once you've crossed a line they cannot forgive, they sever that connection completely. To be shut out by an INFJ is not simply rejection. It is erasure. The warmth that once wrapped around you is gone, replaced by a void so absolute, it leaves you questioning whether you ever truly knew them at all. That kind of silent punishment cuts far deeper than open confrontation, and it is one of their most disarming weapons. Perhaps the most dangerous thing about an INFJ is the illusion they cast. People assume kindness means softness, that empathy means harmlessness. They fail to see that behind the softness lies steel, behind the empathy lies strategy. The INFJ will listen, nurture, and protect, but they are also capable of cutting ties without remorse, striking back with precision, and walking away without looking over their shoulder. Their danger is not chaotic, it is elegant. It is not noisy, it is final. And because of that, when they do choose to unleash it, very few ever see it coming until it is far too late. The danger of the INFJ lies in the fact that you almost never see it coming. They wear their empathy like a cloak, their kindness like a mask, and their calm presence like a disarming melody that makes you forget they are quietly watching, quietly studying, quietly piecing together who you are at your core. Unlike other types who reveal their anger or intentions in bursts of emotion, the INFJ keeps everything hidden behind still waters. And still waters, as history has always warned, run the deepest, and sometimes the deadliest. What sets them apart is that they do not need to raise their voice, threaten, or seek validation. They dismantle in silence. They can vanish from your life without warning, but not before making sure the absence leaves an echo you will never forget. Their withdrawal is not a simple act of distance. It is a calculated vacuum of warmth, a sudden chill that forces you to reckon with the space they once filled. And for many, that quiet punishment is far more destructive than confrontation could ever be. Another thing that makes them dangerous is their blend of empathy and detachment. They can care for you with a devotion so deep it feels eternal. Yet if betrayed, that same depth fuels an icy clarity that allows them to cut ties cleanly, without looking back. It is not cruelty that drives them, but an almost surgical sense of justice. They believe in balance, and when balance is broken, they have no qualms about restoring it, even if it means burning bridges to ashes. In friendships, their danger often shows itself in how much they know without you ever telling them. An INFJ can walk into a room and sense who is anxious, who is lying, who is secretly broken. They see beyond masks, but they do not always reveal that they know. Instead, they file it away in memory. When trust is intact, this insight is a gift. They can comfort and guide like no one else. But when that trust is shattered, the very same insight becomes a weapon. They know where to cut, and when they finally do, it is with words or actions that leave lasting scars. What makes this terrifying is that they rarely lash out in the moment. They wait, they study, and then, when a moment is right, they strike with precision so clean that you're left reeling at how much they understood you all along. In love, the danger lies in their depth. They can make their partner feel seen in ways no one else ever has. But that depth of connection creates an equally deep potential for withdrawal. Once an INFJ feels betrayed, there is no second chance. They don't argue or plead for change. They simply decide that the relationship is over, even if the other person doesn't know it yet. They will stay present until the moment they choose to vanish, and when they vanish, it is complete. No words, no closure, just silence. That kind of disappearance doesn't just end a relationship. It haunts it. The partner is left questioning everything, wondering if they ever truly knew the INFJ at all. In power struggles, whether at work or in broader life, the INFJ's danger lies in their ability to manipulate quietly without ever appearing manipulative. They can plan ideas, guide decisions, and influence groups with such subtlety that others believe the choices were their own. Unlike extroverted strategists who lead loudly, INFJs lead from the shadows. They persuade without pressure, shape outcomes without obvious control, and by the time others realize how much of the game was designed by the INFJ, it's already over. They are dangerous not because they crave power, but because if forced into a corner, they know how to wield it invisibly. What makes all of this even more chilling is their calm demeanor. They rarely explode, rarely display rage, rarely reveal how deeply they have been wronged. Instead, they absorb everything quietly until the moment they are ready to act. And when they act, it is with such grace and subtlety that outsiders might not even realize a battle was fought at all. The enemy only realizes they have lost when the ground beneath them is gone. INFJs are observers by nature, and their observation is not shallow. They do not simply notice what someone says. They notice how it is said, what is unsaid, the small shift in tone, the flicker of expression, the weight behind a word. This makes them masters of psychological insight, able to trace the outlines of a person's entire inner world from fragments others overlook. For most, this power is used for connection and healing. But if pushed, betrayed, or cornered, that same gift becomes a weapon of terrifying precision. They know where to press to expose a weakness, what silence to maintain to break someone's confidence, what truths to reveal at the moment they will wound most. What sets them apart from other types is patience. Many people strike in the heat of anger, but the INFJ rarely does. They withdraw, they wait, they calculate. They can let weeks, months, or even years pass before they act. During that time, they're not forgetting, they're gathering knowledge, gathering perspective, gathering clarity. And when they finally decide to act, their move is decisive, irreversible, and often impossible to counter. This long, quiet patience is what makes them so unnerving. You never know if an INFJ has let something go, or if they are simply waiting for the exact moment when their silence will end. INFJs are masters of perception. They don't just hear words. They hear the cracks between words. They don't just see actions. They see the intentions that fuel them. This makes them extraordinarily difficult to deceive. You may think you have hidden your motives well, but the INFJ has already felt them in your tone, in your silence, in your smallest gestures. This ability is not learned. It is instinctual. And while they may never confront you openly, they remember everything. They carry the truth of people within them like carefully collected fragments of glass, each one sharp, each one stored away. Their empathy, which so many mistake for softness, is part of what makes them formidable. Because they understand pain, they know how to inflict it. Because they know how to heal, they know how to wound. Most INFJs choose the path of healing, giving, guiding. But when they are wronged or when they see injustice, that same power flips. They don't need to shout, argue, or fight. They know exactly which word will break a person, which truth will unravel a lie, which silence will drive someone into their own undoing. Their weapons are psychological, and their aim is flawless. Their danger is also hidden in their influence. INFJs rarely seek the spotlight, yet they shape the currents around them. They persuade without demanding. They guide without appearing to lead. They shift the atmosphere of a room without saying a word. This ability to move people subtly, almost invisibly, makes them powerful beyond what most realize. When they decide to use that power, it is not with force. It is with precision, steering outcomes so quietly that others never see their hand in it until everything has already changed. What makes INFJs so dangerous is the paradox they embody. They are both healer and destroyer, empath and strategist, dreamer and judge. They can cradle you with compassion one day and cut you out of their world the next, leaving nothing of you behind. Their danger is not in noise, but in silence. Not in chaos, but in calculation. To love an INFJ is to be cherished like no other. To betray one is to face a quiet storm from which there is no return. If you're an INFJ, ensure to check out our INFJ Playbook kit. The link is in the description of this video.